Hello and welcome back. In the last video, we started with setting up our server file. We created the start function with some other functions like start queues, which is empty, start Elasticsearch, which is empty, but we have the start server function. Okay. Now in this video, we are going to create our route. So I want to go from bottom to top. So we create server, route, helpers, Elasticsearch, and then app. Okay. So the next one is the route.ts file. Remember I said we are not going to have controllers, we are not going to have models, we are not connecting to any database, we are not making any HTTP requests. The only HTTP request we are making in this is related to the health route. Okay, because when we deploy on Kubernetes and when we want set up our monitoring, we want to be able to monitor our service. Okay, so we are going to create a route for the health, to monitor the health status of our microservice. Okay, so go to your route file, import express, and then import router requests and response. Okay, so from express. Okay, and then we also want to import from HTTP status codes. We want to import status codes. Okay, and then we can create our router const router of type router equal to express dot router. Okay, so we've created our express router. Now let's create the health route. This is express. Let's create the health route. So it's going to be a function. You can do export function. I'll call this health routes. It's going to return a router. So the return type is router. Okay, and then we're only going to add one route, which is the get route. So here I will say router.get. Okay, now what is the path? You can add whatever path you want. So here it's going to be notification-health. Now before we proceed, there's something I need to point out. The health routes of all the services, the notification service, the auth service, the gig service, user service, and the rest, that is the only route that will not be managed by the API gateway. Okay, the health route of each of the services will not come from the API gateway. Okay, because it doesn't make any sense for health route. You want to check the health of your service and then you are adding JWT token to it, or you're passing it through API gateway. Okay, so the health routes are the only routes that will not pass through the API gateway. Okay, so the health routes, we are going to be able to access them from outside, and it's going to return either 200 or 500. Okay, so we're just going to use it to check the status of the service. Okay, and then we add a callback request of type request and response of type response. Okay, we use arrow function, and then after this we can return router. Remember we said the return type is router. We are not going to use requests, so we can leave that out. Okay, now I'll say res.status. Now you can add any message you want. Okay, or maybe we can say status codes.ok. Okay, .send. Okay, you can send any information right here that you want. In some cases, in some APIs, you will just see them do something like this. Okay, it's fine. I can say notification service is healthy. Okay, whatever information you like, you can just add that. Okay, healthy and okay. Okay, so this is just what we need to add inside our route, and we are returning the router. To use this is very simple. Go to your server right here inside the start, After your start server, you can just use app.use, use the middleware, you add the paths, and then you add your health routes. Okay, so here this is going to be at notifications because it's in the root of the source folder. Okay, so what this means is, what this route means here simply is that when we call it, it's going to be http://localhost:/notification-routes. Okay, like I already said, all health routes will not be managed by the API gateway. They will not come from the API gateway. Okay, normally if the endpoint is coming from, or the request is coming from the API gateway, it will be something like this: API/v1/gateway. Okay, so if it's coming from the API gateway, it will take this format, but in this case it's not coming from the API gateway, so that we can access it without going through the API gateway. Okay, so right here now we've added our health route. In the next video we will add maybe Elasticsearch or the helpers. Probably let's go with Elasticsearch.